Welcome back to the Intersint podcast. My name is Mike.
And I'm Kenese.
I have been doing something that I never thought I'd be saying in 2024 today.
And what is that?
I've been looking up something on the internet to possibly buy. If you had to take a guess, what would you think it would be?
That you wouldn't be buying in 2024?
It's way past its time to be looking into buying this.
VCR.
Do they actually make VCRs now?
I don't think so. I still have mine.
Do you really?
Yeah. And I think it still works.
That's impressive. I'm actually looking it up now. Oh, you can.
Really?
Weird. It's like still $160 to $200 and some dollars. How are they still this expensive?
Yeah, really. Unless like the whole nostalgic factor has still kept its price the same.
These things need to be like $10 at this point.
I mean, you can at like a thrift shop.
That is true. It's crazy that when these things came out, they were what, like $500 or something like that.
Do you remember Blu-rays?
Oh man, I hated Blu-rays.
Wasn't that like just what, a year or two where it was popular?
I feel like it was a little bit longer. The year or two thing was the 3D television. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. I thought that was so cool. At the time.
In theory, it was cool, but it's one of those things of like a guy I worked with, he went out and paid like $3,000 for a 3D TV.
Wow.
Even at that time, I was like, you do realize in order for the 3D thing to work, it needs to be filmed and prepared for 3D, which most shows aren't. He's like, no, but it's going to come around. And it died in like 8 months.
Don't you have a 3D monitor?
Yes, and I bought that not knowing it was a 3D monitor. And I've never used the 3D feature. It's a good monitor, just I never...
I like how you like look at it too.
I had to, yeah. And my camera that I bought also has a 3D function on it too. Like you can tell I bought my monitor and my camera in the same year because it has 3D on it.
That's hilarious.
And that's the thing with like the Blu-ray, or not even Blu-ray, 4K. How it's like, oh, here's these 4K TVs, but you think that it needs to be filmed in 4K cameras in order for you to get the 4K quality out of it. And it's like, it's not like you're going to be going back and watching like Friends and be like, oh, look at all the resolution now. It's like, doesn't work that way.
This looks so real. Wait, what were you looking at?
Oh, yeah. I was looking into fidget spinners.
Why?
I wanted to buy one.
For work?
Yes. So where I work, we have a 3D printer. And lately it's been a thing where like I get the scrap, like support stuff that comes off of prints. And I have my own little collection of little 3D printing scrap on my desk. Because it's good fidget stuff. Like I sit there and I like twirl it in my fingers as I'm like working or something. And I'm like, you know what? A fidget spinner would be really nice to have. Just sit there at my desk and have one.
Or like one of those cube thingies that you can just like, tinkle with.
Tinker
with.
That's a different product you're thinking of.
Yes. I've always wanted one of those though.
Yeah, but like each side has its own different thing on it.
It's like a cat toy.
Remember when that was even a fad where everything was fidget toys?
Yeah, I think I was in marketing. Yeah, this was like in what, 2016, 2017?
Roughly, yeah.
Because I was in my college marketing class and we were like talking about these and how to do like case studies on these.
It's just crazy how everything became like a fidget thing. Do you remember those Buckyballs? Or what are they called, Buckyballs?
No.
They're the, here, I'll just show you. They're the magnetic cubes.
Oh, yeah.
I always wanted to get one of these.
Weren't these like the magnetic ones?
Yeah, they're magnetic and they're also like banned or something because kids keep swallowing them and then killing themselves over it.
Yeah. But you always wanted one.
Just always wanted to make these cool, like they're just magnets, but I want to play with the magnets and make cool things out of it. And I get like these YouTube shorts and stuff that show people making these things out of them. I'm like, I want that. I want to do that.
Mine.
Like I have kinetic sand hair.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No. Or at least you never pointed it out that you did.
That's true. Yeah. Just because it's just a cool thing to just build stuff out of it and then it goes back to being sand afterwards.
That's funny. You'll have to show me next time.
Yeah. But the reason I didn't like Blu-rays, did you ever watch something on Blu-ray?
I want to say once, and this was like at a cousin's place in Canada.
Oh. I was at a friend's, my dad's friend's house, and they were watching some action movie and it was on Blu-ray, and they're like, oh, this is Blu-ray, it's new, it's like really cool. And I'm watching it, I'm like, this looks like shit.
This looks the same as a DVD.
No, it was worse.
Oh, really?
Because now it's 60 frames a second, and now it's higher quality imaging.
True.
So there was a chase scene, like a car being chased through a city or something, and you can tell the cars were going 20 miles per hour because now it's smoother and it's more frames to see this thing. So you're just seeing how fake it is. It's like, you actually like this? Like, you can clearly see how bad it is now.
Oh, this is enjoyable to you?
At least with the other frame rates, like, it blurs, so it looks like it's actually going fast.
I always found, like, all those videos you see online of, like, the camera moving the same speed as an airplane, so it just looks like it's floating there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about that before, but I always find it so cool, and I kind of want to, like, go up and do that.
But yeah, so if I get a fidget spinner, I will let you know.
Can I have one too?
You'll be having it at your work as well, spinning it around all the time.
Please. The person who sits next to me at work, he has like one of those hand strengthener thingies.
Like the V shape with the spring that.
Yeah. And I remember as a kid, I used to play with that all the time.
Oh, me too.
Until I got my finger stuck in it. And then that's when I was like, no, this is too dangerous for me.
Wait, before we even go any further, how did you get your finger stuck in it?
It was like between the handle and like where it clamps shut.
Yeah.
It was like in there, and I didn't realize my finger was there. So I like smashed my finger into it.
That tracks.
Thank you. I'm accident prone.
You're very much accident prone.
Yeah.
To the point where we were at work one time when we worked together and you threatened me with a knife. To the point where as you pulled out the knife, you cut yourself with it.
I was being angry. I was mad at you.
And I realized, like, and I laughed whenever that happened because I'm like, this is typical Kenny's behavior.
Thank you. Behavior.
Our boss was like, oh, are you okay? And like, he went and got a Band-Aid and he's like...
Yeah, he took care of me.
It was a very small nick. You know, if you were like gushing blood, I would have like...
I was gushing blood. It wasn't as much as it should have been, but it was still blood. I don't know why I became friends with you after that.
Every time you try to threaten me with an object, it just went either flying across the room or you hurt yourself with it every time.
Thank you. No, but all this is reminding me of like how this all started, like this whole nostalgia thing. Because I know back in the day, like Champion and like all these different brands and all these different things that kids now are wearing to seem cool or like in with the 2000s aesthetic, we would have been made fun of.
Oh, like even the Champion stuff.
That was like a poor kid's brand, and those were my shoes when I was a kid.
You know, you've told me before when I bought a pair of Pumas.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was you said that used to be a poor brand.
It used to be a poor brand, yeah.
I never knew that.
Really?
No, like for me, at least when I discovered Puma and all this stuff, it was a higher end shoe.
Okay.
Because like I discovered it because I believe Mark Hoppus was wearing Pumas.
I think so, yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, that's like a cool hip shoe. And I've always wanted a pair after.
That's so cool and hip.
That's so rad.
But yeah, Champion, Puma, New Balance, like all these used to be like the weird kid shoe or like the weird kid brand.
That's crazy. I still can't believe that Puma was in that.
Like it was all available at Payless, and if you were caught wearing some of these things, you'd be made fun of. And so like anytime I'd go to Payless with my parents to get shoes, I would always buy like the ones with like no brand name on them.
Ah, that makes sense.
Or like I would buy the ones that look like Converse but like rip the tag off.
Oh, okay.
Because they weren't Converse, they were like some other brand name.
Oh man, now I'm trying to remember what I used to wear. I can't. I think I just blocked that part out of my brain.
Did you used to wear jnco jeans?
Oh boy, yeah, I did.
Oh, I kind of wish you still had a picture because that's pretty hilarious.
I'm glad. I am so thankful that there are no pictures.
We need to call up your dad.
I don't even I truly think there was no pictures of me at that time.
Damn it. I still need to know how you were as a kid. I need to call up your dad.
I showed you that one picture. Maybe this will even go up on the Instagram, but the picture of me with the eyeball painted on my forehead. And I'm like, this tracks for who I am today.
It does. I remember you telling me you have no idea why those were even on there.
I even asked my dad, I'm like, why is there an eyeball on my forehead? And he even laughed and said he has no clue what I was doing. So, tracks for who I am today.
Yes, it really does.
Oh man, the JNCOs. I remember those things, like, I could fit my entire body into one leg.
Now?
Even now, I could probably fit my entire body into one leg. So imagine this little, like, 80-pound kid wearing these JNCOs. If there was a strong enough wind, it would have carried me if it grabbed my pants.
And be like a parachute for you.
Pretty much.
All right, bye.
And on top of that, like, not even JNCOs. I had, you might know the name of these. I don't. But all I remember, they were black pants. Still, they had, like, the JNCO style. Like, the bigger, not so close to your body. Like, stay away from my body as far away as possible. And it had white stitching on it. It's honestly like the stuff you would see, like, the goth kids wear. You not ringing a bell?
No. Parachute pants?
Well, yes and no. There. This isn't exactly what I had, but this is very, very close to what I had.
Honestly, I could still see you wearing these.
If they were a little bit skinnier style, then I could see myself wearing that.
Oh.
But, like, take out the big white straps, take out the chains, and that's pretty much what the pants look like.
Do you want to know what I wore at that time?
Oh, this wasn't like my normal what I would wear.
What was this then?
This was just the first time I was given freedom to buy the clothes I wanted. And this was the stuff I bought. But yeah, what is your outfit?
So, okay. The Juicy Couture track pants.
Like the standard.
With the giant rhinestone ass.
The ones that say juicy on the butt.
Yes, that. I would have Lisa Frank notebooks and, like, pencils and, like, shit like that.
Wait, what's that?
Lisa Frank? So, like, the stuff.
Oh, her.
Like, with the neon artwork.
There's, like, bright artwork, yeah. Anyone who doesn't know is, like, the super bright animals and whatnot.
And then all the girls used to wear something like this, along with low-waisted jeans, super skinny to the point where, like, you can't even move.
Yep. I remember wearing pants so tight that I'm like, how was I even able to walk around? There was one time, I think senior year in high school, I was finally allowed to choose what I wanted to wear again.
Yay.
And this was during peak emo phase. So skinny jeans, the small, like, Vans shoes, slip-ons. They were checkered, white checkered. I remember that.
I still have mine. I actually bought mine recently.
That's the one with your pinkies busting out the side.
Yes.
The black studded belt.
Oh.
Had that.
Oh, I don't even remember what I had.
There's a time I had a long sleeve obsession. And you've seen some of my long sleeves and whatnot that I wear.
I have.
But there was one time I was like, oh, I want to buy more long sleeves and whatnot. I go into Hot Topic and they had a black and white striped long sleeve, but it was a thermal shirt. And I'm like, oh, I want to try this on. And at that time, I'm still tiny. I was still wearing, like, smalls, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I get the thermal shirt and I go into the changing room. Didn't realize that thermal shirts meant not stretchy material. And I got stuck in the dressing room with this long sleeve over my head and my arms up in the air, and I couldn't move. And I'm, like, flailing my arms back and forth trying to get this shirt off. And I'm like, I can't call for help because then they're going to have to come in and remove this shirt off of my body.
See, I used to wear this as a kid. This is black and white. I used to have one that was orange and white. This was my fashion in high school, middle school.
I could see you wearing that. It's like what is that, like a bandana type thing?
They call it a desert scarf now, but I don't know what it's called or what it was called back in the day.
It's pretty much like the type of thing you would see cowboys wearing, like the long, almost poncho type thing. But it's like handkerchief type style.
Yeah. And then I can't find this other jacket I used to wear all the time. But if I can find it, I'll throw it up on the Instagram. But that, along with black super skinny jeans, my orange scarf, I cut up my mittens, not mittens, but like gloves, back in the day to make fingerless gloves because I was too poor to afford any. And I didn't want my parents to know like this was my kind of fashion because they wouldn't approve. I had to go through hell to like, I want to be this.
I still wear my fingerless gloves to this day.
You showed me.
I have a pair that I bring to work, and I still get made fun of for wearing them. It is freezing in the wintertime at work, and I need to keep my hands warm.
So, going back, all this is making me think, like, you know how kids today are, like, in this whole Y2K era of, like, the aesthetic and, like, wanting to be, or, like, the fashion is, like, leaning towards that a bit.
Yeah.
Did we ever do that?
Go back?
Yeah, like, how kids today are going through, like, or going towards 2000s fashions. Did we ever go do something like the 70s fashions or, like, the 80s fashions? Because I don't remember if I did.
It's hard because it's such a gray area, because you can almost say that the whole emo phase stuff was based off of like the early like greaser / punk styles from back in the day.
I guess, yeah.
It's just like an evolution off of that. And I mean, even in my high school, I know we had like the pure like punk kids that would have been from the 80s and whatnot. So they still were dressing like that with like the leather jackets and the patches on them and stuff and the spiked mohawks. So I do recall seeing that and like those extremes, but what else was there back then? Like aside from the punk phase and the neon phase, because the neon phase came back with Scene Kids.
It did, yeah.
So that's just like an evolution from that era as well.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Because like, those are like very niche groups of people.
Yes.
But nowadays you're just seeing like everybody wearing what we would have worn.
What do you mean?
Like all these kids wearing like cargo pants and like tight tops and like very loose pants.
Yeah.
And like even flare jeans are back.
What are the, like the bell bottoms?
Not bell bottoms, but they are kind of, yeah.
I think I have a pair of those still.
That is hilarious. I want to see. But these are flare jeans.
Oh, okay.
And as a kid, I would have these, but mine would be like way past the heel of my foot to the point if I wore shoes and it was raining outside, they would still get wet.
Yep, I had pants like that too.
Yep.
I remember like back in the day, this is kind of out of myself, but I was one of those kids who had a pair of girl jeans.
Girl jeans?
Yeah, like it was a whole thing of like the whole emo phase was like guys literally wearing girl jeans. They were comfy, by the way. Girl jeans are very comfortable.
Really?
Yes.
They are not.
I don't know. The ones that I had, they were very comfortable. But I do have a pair of like black jeans that flare at the bottom still to this day.
I want to see.
I don't even know if they would fit me anymore. I don't know why I still have them.
We'll do a fashion show next time we hang out.
There you go. It's crazy too, because I got into the conversation about this with someone. Converse is still a huge thing now, like to this day. Think of back whenever those shoes came out. Are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking. The last time I would, or the first time I think I would have seen them was like either in middle school.
Right, but even to this, I have 2 pair of them right now.
I used to have a pair, and I had to throw them away because like the bottoms have holes in it now.
Oh, from wearing it too much.
Pretty much, yeah.
But like, so I'm looking it up now. These came out in the 50s, the late 50s.
Really?
Yeah, and to this day, it's still a high fashion thing. Like, not high fashion, but it's a fashionable thing that we wear.
That's interesting.
Same with Vans.
I know Vans has been around for a long time.
It's like these shoes that just never die.
What's the longest item of clothing or item anywhere, I guess, that is still going strong?
I think if I had to take a guess, my first thought is those. It's not Indian. Oh, what is it? Is it Turkish? The little hats, the fez, I think they're called.
Fez?
Yeah, the fezzes. I would say this is probably the longest one because it's still going to this day. I actually just watched a documentary on this. Here, I'm sending it to you now.
Oh, I've never seen anyone wear these.
I don't know. Moroccan. They're Moroccan.
Moroccan hats?
And they kind of went away, but people still to this day still wear them. Those have been around since, what, 1460? It's still going, so that's what I would think would be the longest.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'm looking it up, and a lot of the things are saying Converse.
It's just insane like how each generation like finds the Converse and like, oh, those are cool, and they wear them, not realizing how far back it actually spans.
Mm-hmm. And then like going back to the whole like, not, I guess it was a bullying thing, like we were bullied for it. But how long do you think this is all gonna last until somebody comes along and just says that's so cringe and everything just dies out?
Oh, it's bound to happen.
It will, I know that, but like, when?
These fads always just change.
Yeah.
It's like we're now seeing the scene phase coming back. Out of nowhere, it's like, this has been done for a long time. Why is this now coming back? And now we have the scene phase coming back, and then that's gonna die out. Like, even like with bands, pop punk has been dead for a while, and now that's making a revival.
Yeah.
So it was like, you had your punk, and then you had it, like, that kind of evolved into pop punk. Then all of a sudden, like, the screaming music came in and then took everything over, and then pop punk bands just couldn't
keep up with it, I guess.
Yeah. And so then it's just been nonstop like screaming music and heavy bands.
Like hardcore stuff, yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's like pop punk is back. All of a sudden, like, why is there a revival?
I will laugh just with how ironic it'd be if Punk Goes Pop comes back.
I forgot about those CDs. That was something I looked forward to every single year, was
Pretty
the Pop
much.
Goes Punk. And that's not like how a lot of these bands got famous back then.
Mm-hmm.
This was pre MySpace, I think. Or was it like early MySpace?
I don't know. I wasn't allowed to have MySpace.
But it's pretty much, that's what got a lot of bands famous. It's pretty much like the adult emo version of Now That's What I Call Music. Or Kids Bop.
I was just going to say Kids Bop.
It's the older person's Kids Bop.
Which, I don't know if you've heard of, I forget who it was, Metro Boomin? Like his diss on Drake?
Okay, this is now the second episode you've talked about Metro Boomin. I don't know who that is.
It's a rapper.
I meant to bring this up the last time you brought up this person. I'm like, who is this guy you keep talking about? Like, if you could give me like one song that this guy does.
I don't know. The only reason I know this is because of the diss.
Oh. Okay, sorry. What's going on with Metro Boomin that we don't know anything about?
1 second, I'm trying to find this. Was it even Metro Boomin? No, it's Kendrick. Sorry. It's called Not Like Us. And the lyrics are pretty much dissing Drake, obviously. But then Kids Bop made a version for this song, and I'm like, have you ever like heard lyrics and just thought, how could they possibly make this G-rated?
Yeah. Anytime they have any like rap songs on the Kids Bop, is like, how did you even come to let these kids do this song? Because even whenever there was a thrift shop from Macklemore,
oh, I remember that.
Like, they even had them change the weirdest words that I'm like, why did you censor that word? Like, it doesn't. Is there a meaning to this I'm not aware of?
So, pretty much. Okay, so some of the lyrics are certified lover boy, certified pedophile, wop, 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 dot fuck 'em up, wop, 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 I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor, so a minor.
Yeah.
But the Kids Bop version
oh no,
is certified alligator, certified crocodiles. Wop, 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 get them numbers up. Wop, 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 I'ma study up. Why you playing Fortnite? Ain't you tired? Got my test scores, but it's probably A minus.
Wow.
You gotta give him credit.
That's, yeah. But this even goes even farther. Imagine Drake's kid now listening to that song and singing that song.
Not knowing that it's a diss.
Not knowing it's a diss to your dad. And Kendrick now took it to a whole nother level where he's manipulating Kid's Bop to now do the song, to then go to the kid, to then now sing it for us. That like this is like 4D chess going on right there.
It's like all full circle here. Oh man.
But also how crazy that, because that song is new, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did it get new and then already is a Kid's Bop song?
I don't know.
How fast are these kids? Is this like a sweatshop that they're working these kids?
I was just thinking that too.
No, Billy, you get your cookie when you sing the lyrics. Get back in there. Now put on your smiles. Wah, bah, 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 bah. They're getting these kids to work overtime.
Yeah, really.
Also, aren't they on like Kids Bop 822 or something like that?
I have no clue at this point. Like, it's all just noise to me now.
What, Kids Bop in general?
Like, that kind of music.
What?
Like, the mainstream stuff. Like, I'll just have it on.
Oh, mainstream. I thought you meant Kids Bop. I'm like, I would hope that this is noise to you. I can imagine you like jamming out to your car at, like a red light to...
To what? To what?
I don't know. Some Kids Bop song. When did Kids Bop even come out?
I don't know.
2001.
I would have thought it was much later than that.
I honestly thought so too, and it's still to this day, 2023.
Still going? Jeez.
They apparently have a Kids Bop Never Stop live tour.
They go on tour.
They did last year, yeah.
That is the most hilarious shit I have heard in this whole year.
I would have loved to buy tickets to this.
Oh, can we please? Let's go.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay, they've been going since 2001.
Okay.
Their last album came out in 2019. How many albums did they put out?
From 2001 to 2019?
18 years.
100 at least?
40.
Really?
I mean, yeah. If you did 1 year, that's 18.
2 a year is like, what, 36?
Yeah.
So a little more than 2 a year.
Sometimes throwing in a third album in the year. That is
Jeez.
insane.
That's... Holy hell. I mean, I guess you're right. They're making these kids work in a sweatshop.
Especially for the Drake thing to come out. Is like, did the guy who like writes these songs like hear that and he's like, oh, I got ideas.
Let's
I got
go.
ideas. I'm writing them.
The SpongeBob beat. Write it down.
Like constantly just listening to the radio and listening to like what the top songs are. Oh man, I just thought of this and I think it might be true.
Uh-oh.
What is the worst song that you can have kids sing aside from the one that you just said?
Like any rap song, I guess.
Yeah, there's one specific rap song that is just, you should never have kids.
Give me a year.
It's 2020.
Okay, so COVID times.
Yep. 2 females.
I want to say one of them is Megan the Stallion.
Yep.
Is it the
Yeah, I know you're right there.
I'm right there. I know
it's
it.
right there.
Is it the I have to give up. I have it, but
It's WAP.
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember that Kids Bop one.
How do you hear that song, the original song, and you're like, we're going to change these words and we're going to have these kids sing it?
And this is going to be a fun time.
I kind of just quickly listened to it as you were guessing. And it's all about food. Like, it's like, put them rolls in your mouth, put them rolls in your mouth.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it's like, cool, you were able to make it G-rated, but like, how do you listen to the original and think that? I want a CD that's like Gram Pop or something, Grams Pop, where you just get grandmas singing like an older version of these songs.
Boomer Pop.
Boomer Pop, there you go.
You know what I really want to happen is have these boomers turn their hearing aids off, have them listen to these songs, and then just write down whatever they hear.
Just static noises.
Not even that, just like random words. This was the closest.
I am afraid for the day whenever I had to go down the hearing aid route.
I feel like you might be there very soon.
I
Not
am.
very soon, but like, considering how fucked up your ears are.
They are. Anyone listening, like, if you've ever heard the thing of like wear earplugs
To shows.
loud events and shows, that's not a bad thing. You should definitely do that.
And that's not a suggestion. That's like a... that should be a requirement. Speaking of loud noises, this I guess could be a great transition into this other story that I've been wanting to tell for the longest time, and we've never gotten to, because we always go into tangents. Do you know what the Belltown Hellcat is?
I think last time you might have mentioned it. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
Oh, yes. So I've seen this car everywhere on Reddit, and I had no clue. One, I had no clue it was near us, and two, I had no clue what was going on with this car. I just kept seeing the image popping up everywhere.
Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know, and I guess for you too, the Belltown Hellcat is driven by this douchebag in downtown Seattle, well, the Belltown area, city, neighborhood.
Where is Belltown?
It's close to downtown Seattle, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Capitol Hill area. This dude will start his engine and start revving it at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. People are trying to sleep, trying to go to work the next morning. This dude will just go down, start revving his engine, start like driving around the neighborhood, speeding to like 110, 120 miles an hour, not letting anyone sleep. He's had several complaints against him. His own mom is like, can you guys please do something because I'm fed up with him.
Wow.
And I'm fed up with his car.
You know you messed up if your mom is doing it.
Pretty much, yeah. But then, because he's like, his defense is like, oh no, this is my job because I have so many followers on Instagram and they need me to do this.
Wow.
But the most hilarious thing was that this dude was parked in the handicap spot in his apartment, and this one dude called the cops on it and had it towed. And I'm like, justice, yes.
How is it that he gets away with all this stuff, and what gets him is paint in a parking spot?
But he's gotten it out. I think he like paid money to like get it back from impound or whatever, and so he has it still. I think this dude has like what, almost $100,000 in penalties or like fines that he has to pay.
For what though?
For reckless driving, for
reckless driving,
causing a nuisance and like sleeping hours technically.
Oh.
And then just like the police having to like just chase him down all the time.
We need this type of response for all the people around where I live, because there are times at like midnight, 1 a.m. where it's nonstop racing or something, and just loud cars just cruising up and down the roads. Like, can there just be cops somewhere that gets these people off the road? I'm trying to go to bed.
And you think like where you live, at least, there'd be cops, because there's always cops where you live.
Yeah.
Where are they when you need it?
Yeah, where are you at 1 a.m. to get these people that are clearly racing down the street?
Oh, boo-hoo. You're not supposed to sleep. We signed up for this shit. Serve and protect, motherfucker.
The craziest thing to me is how these people get away with, or not get away, but we see it all the time where they post themselves on social media doing illegal shit.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of YouTube shorts I've seen where motorcyclists are like very clearly driving like assholes and causing disruptions, or like picking fights with people, or just doing illegal shit in general. And then you post it on YouTube shorts where people can track you down, or like, oh, there's a cop behind me. And then you show yourself running from the cop. It's like, they're gonna see this.
There's been like so many videos of like, I can't remember if this was exactly it, but like a bunch of teenagers like driving backwards or something like that, along the lines of that, on the Hood Canal Bridge, so the bridge that goes over into downtown Seattle.
The one right above the water, like at level line. Okay.
So it's like, out of all places, why would you choose that to be the one where you do the most reckless, insane, dumbass thing? If I saw that, I'd be like, please hit the barrier and just go overboard. Please just go in the water.
And it goes back to what we talked about. I think it was like early on, how I'm so glad the internet wasn't what it was back when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
Because just seeing how it's affecting kids today, and like, oh, we need to do this illegal stuff just for the sake of views. I'm so glad, because I know I would have been one of those people that like,
do it for the views. Just
a pink bro. So he has this car then, and he's still...
I think as of right now, he has this car.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you would even...
You're just at a loss for words.
I am. Because I'm trying to think of what could you even do to prevent it, and it's just like keep the car at that point.
I mean, like, at a certain point, you'd have to realize, like, the city has to, like, can't just keep letting this shit go. Like, is it more expensive to have cops come down every single time this guy just causes a disturbance, which is pretty much almost every day, or deal with it one time, after, like, the third offense, just take it away from him?
Yeah, especially if he's, like, documenting the fact that he's, like, speeding and driving recklessly.
Exactly. That's the majority of like why he's been getting all these tickets is because he's been posting them to social media and like they've been citing him for it because he has like been posting proof of it.
At what point? Because I feel like people have lost their license over less.
They have.
So at what point do you lose your license because of this?
I feel like, and this isn't me saying, oh yeah, Seattle is a lawless city. Come move here and you can do whatever the fuck you want. But technically it kind of is.
Kinda, but then you also have it where you're probably going to get arrested or shot by the police for no reason.
The police?
Just for existing.
Or get bitten by a crackhead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the amount of like stories I see about the Seattle police and how they don't give a shit.
Every time I drive into Seattle and I see like a cop car, I'm always like on high alert.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Only just because it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be making it out of here alive.
It's sad that it is like that. It's almost like you've heard the stories about New York.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's almost as bad as the New York police.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I remember back in 2006 when I moved out here, everyone was like bearably friendly, I guess. And like even back in like not 19, but like the 2000s when I was in San Francisco, the cops used to be so friendly and like helpful. And now it's like these like major cities on the West Coast are like, you can't do anything anymore.
And I don't know where the change went or why.
But that's also to say I most likely would probably not go anywhere else. Like, I love the West Coast.
I've been thinking about that too, but then at the same time, I'm like, it's getting way too expensive, and I might have to just go to a new state because I don't think I can survive here for too long.
Pretty much, yeah. I've been thinking about that too.
Actually, yes, I've seen a lot of posts on Reddit of people saying the same thing, how, especially in Washington, they love Washington, but it's just getting to the point where they're looking for other places to live because it's not here anymore.
It's unlivable. It's one of those things of like, if you were here in the 70s and 80s and have paid off your house, you're good. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But people who are moving here are like finally growing up and establishing their own lives. It's like, it's not it here.
But it's just the same. It's never going to get fixed.
No.
Like with Austin, it was so cheap, and then it got flooded with all the people moving there because of how cheap it is. And now it's just as expensive as it is here.
I would say Austin city limits, yes. But I've been looking at houses around that area and significantly cheaper than it is here.
Like right outside of Austin?
Pretty much like suburbs of Austin.
Okay.
It's like a quarter of what a house would cost here.
Oh, wow.
But a bigger house. So like 4 bedrooms, three bath, like 5 bedrooms. I'm like, this would be like $5 billion here.
Well, there you go. Intersint Podcast is moving to Texas.
Let's go.
Build a new studio.
It'd be cheaper.
Because I've always wanted to just buy a piece of land on like a farm in Montana or something.
I honestly kind of want to do that.
It cost what? $1,000.
Pretty much, yeah.
You would have literally nothing, but
everything at the same time.
You'd have all this land and a house. You just wouldn't have like food really like right down the road or something.
That's why you cook.
All right. Well, that was an eventful episode.
It was all over the place. But that's what this podcast is all about.
Pretty much. And before we close it up, I wanted to say congratulations to Kaniz for not flubbing any sentences during this entire episode. I've been paying attention, like, oh, this might be it. And I didn't want to say it too early and then have it get into your head.
I did it. Thank you.
This is episode 9, I think. And
we should really start saying episode numbers in these.
Oh, yeah, we haven't been.
Yes, this is episode 9.
We'll get there. We're learning. So next week, there'll be an episode number at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we remember.
I know, we won't. Anyways, so be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Go follow all of our socials at Intersint Pod. Do all that social media stuff. And we will see you next week.
Bye.